It was 2 o'clock in the morning when I got a call from Nooni, one of the midwives. I picked up and she said, Brady's water broke a few hours ago, so get to her house as soon as you can. I was filled with so much excitement at this because it was going to be the first birth that I was going to be witnessing. Inconveniently, at this time, I still didn't have my driver's license, so I went into my parents' bedroom and I pleaded them, can you please drive me to the birth? And surprisingly, my dad agreed. When I arrived at the house, Brady, the mom, and Mike, the dad, were in their dimly lit bedroom. Valeriana and Nooni, the midwives, were on their way back from another birth. When the midwives arrived, they checked in with Brady, and she was still in early labor, and her contractions were coming somewhat far apart. And contractions are when the uterine muscles are shortening and preparing for the baby to come out, and they'll come for a period of time, and then they'll go away, and then they'll come back. And the closer they are together, then the sooner the baby is coming. And so because she was in earlier labor, we got to sleep for a little bit. And they had been at 2 births previous to this one, so they were especially tired. We woke up around 6 in the morning, and I heard low groaning sounds and sounds of labor. At this point, Brady was in more active labor. She was walking around and trying to find positions that were comfortable for her to be in the contractions. And throughout this time, Mike was supporting her, and the midwives were encouraging her and checking in with her, making sure that everything was going smoothly. And they also encouraged her to eat something and to drink water to stay hydrated so that she had enough energy. And throughout this time, I was witnessing it, and I was trying to make myself somewhat useful. So I was running up and down the stairs, getting different things. I got some cold washcloths to put on Brady's forehead, and made the bed and did whatever else I could. There was more and more excitement in the room as Brady began to push, and she pushed for a while, and I saw the baby's head crown, which means that the top of the baby's head was visible. And she pushed, and then it seemed like she couldn't push anymore, and that was because the baby's head was stuck behind the baby's shoulder was stuck behind Brady's pubic bone. And so Valeriana had her go from her hands and knees, she was on her hands and knees at that point, onto her back, and then back to her hands and knees. And this movement allowed for the baby's shoulder to slip through. And at 8:26 in the morning, he was born. At first, he had a little bit of trouble adjusting to life outside of the womb. And so Valeriana gave him pumps of pressurized air, which helped the unnecessary fluids in his lungs to leave, and soon he was turning pink in his chest, and then his arms and legs, and then his little hands and fingers. And I watched emotionally as Brady scooped him up and held him to her chest, and she and Mike looked at him with love and amazement. And after a short time, they decided to name him Alexander. After Brady had held him for a while, the midwives examined him and cleaned him off a little bit, and then they weighed him, and he weighed 10 pounds, 6 ounces. Next, I got to actually take the placenta downstairs and cut it up and put it in the freezer. And at first this seemed a little bit strange to me, like doing this, but it made so much sense because a lot of the nutrients that Brady had lost in birth, the mom loses in birth, can be regained through taking it like bits of it in the smoothie or in pills. So yeah. And we stayed and helped clean up that morning and made sure that everything was great. The midwives checked in and everything. And then we left, and I felt extremely blessed to be able to witness this powerful event, and it really made me even more interested in midwifery. So as you can tell, I did midwifery for my senior project. Last spring, when we had to choose what we wanted to do, I had many different ideas, and throughout the summer I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. And then in August, the idea of doing midwifery popped into my mind. And then I started reading some books on childbirth that my mom had. And one of them was by Ina May Gaskin, who is a well-known midwife. Her ideas of eradicating fear in childbirth and empowering women really stuck with me and inspired me to do it. Another thing that influenced me was my mom's positive experience having a home birth with my younger brother Thomas. So I remember being 10 years old and very curious about what was going on. After I decided on midwifery, I reached out to Valeriana, who is an experienced midwife who has a home birth practice in Chestnut Ridge, and luckily for me, she agreed to be my mentor. The job of a midwife isn't just the birth, it's all the visits leading up to the birth and also some visits after the birth. Valeriana and her assistant, Nooni, meet with their pregnant clients for multiple times throughout the 40 weeks of pregnancy, and they meet with them for an hour period of time, so they really get to know the women. And Nooni and Valeriana welcomed me into their professional life, and I was able to sit in on the prenatal visits and take notes, which was really great. And I noticed how they created a friendly environment and how they gave advice on nutrition and exercise and talked about the women's hopes and fears in birth. I also saw how they did medical things such as testing for gestational diabetes, taking blood, and finding the baby's heart rate. Something that I noticed and appreciated was the vast amount of knowledge that they had and how they shared that with the women to empower them, because if you have knowledge about something, it makes it less scary and less mysterious. They also gave advice on both sides of controversial topics such as vaccination or circumcision, and allowed the parents in the end to make decisions. I got to know some of the women, and I got to ask them questions, and I got to ask the midwives questions, which led me to really understand what was going on. And I got to see two births. The first was baby Alexander, who was born in January, and the second was Adi, who was born in February. I met Crystal once at one of her prenatal visits back in December, and then in February I asked the midwives if I could possibly go to another birth, and they said they would try and see. And a few days later they called me back and said that Crystal would be open to me being at her birth and that she was in labor. So I went to her house. It was a Saturday morning, and Crystal was there, and her family, and the midwives, and everyone was sitting around the table, and everyone seemed very normal and calm. For the whole day, we hung out there at the house, and the baby seemed to be coming at his own pace. Something about having a home birth is that you can go at your own pace, there's no pressure of time, and also the parents have as much privacy as they want. So we were in one room while the parents were walking around and in the bedroom. And then in the evening, Chrysol's contractions became much stronger and closer together, and she began to push, aided by her husband, who was supporting her the whole time, and the midwives as well. And she was pushing, and she pushed for a short amount of time, and then the baby crowned, and actually so quickly that Noonie didn't even have time to put on her gloves. She just had to reach out to catch the baby. And then he was born, and I had the same excited emotion, and I'm sure everyone else in the room did when he was born, that I had had at the last birth. They let the baby lie on the bed for a moment, the baby boy, and then just to pause and let the mother look at him and also let him adjust to life outside of the womb. And then she picked him up. They named him 80 after this name that their 5-year-old son had suggested. And then something I took away from this birth was that Chrysol had been supported by so many people. Her husband, her sister, 2 midwives. I was there, and in the end, it was her who did the amazing, incredible job of bringing her child into the world. And Valeriana and Noonie are extremely talented at what they do, and something that Valeriana told me that I think is true is that midwives have to work with their intuition, their experience, and their knowledge all the time. And they, safety is their priority, and they carry with them many things that a hospital would have for a birth in case of an emergency. So they have oxygen, Pitocin, IVs, intramuscular drugs, and they're both extremely competent in neonatal resuscitation. I looked at home birth midwifery, but ultimately a woman should decide where she wants to give birth, where she feels most confident, comfortable, and safe, whether that's at her own home, a hospital, or a birthing center. And after having this glimpse into midwifery, I just have so much respect for moms who have the willpower and the strength and the bravery to give birth, and also for the people who help them through this, and midwives who not only make sure it is safe, but make sure it is an experience that moms can look back on with pride and love the experience that they have. Thank you to Brady and Chrysol and their families. Thank you so, so much for allowing me to be at the births and to take photos and to share your stories. My project would not be possible without you. Thank you. Thank you to Valeriana and Noonie for being so inspiring and allowing me to do things with you. I'm really grateful. Thank you, Valeriana, for being my mentor. It was really, really wonderful. Thank you to Gail for teaching me about what doulas do and sharing your knowledge. And thank you, Kathy Lauer, for sharing your wisdom about herbal medicine during pregnancy with me. Thanks, Mom, Dad, Kate Thomas, for giving me the support and giving me drives at inconvenient times. And thank you, Ms. Regan, for being with me on this speech. And thank you to these lovely people in the front row and up there for being the lovely people